The NBA season is back, baby. We got power rankings, best bets, and more. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we got Ryan with us today. That's right, it is NBA time. We have so many NBA followers. I know you guys are jacked up. The season is right around the corner. And this is the Western Conference preview and best bets show, baby. I am ready. We talking basketball. That's right. I got to show you my voice in basketball too. But guys, I am excited. The Western Conference is wide freaking open. I am excited for the season. It's going to be fun. But before we do anything, like, subscribe, comment, do what you got to do. Help this channel grow as we get closer to 7,000 subscribers. I want to see a ton of comments because I know you guys have a lot of opinions about teams. So if you disagree with us or agree with us, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. But, man, I'm ready to roll. Ryan, how about you?
Oh, super excited. Can't wait till we dive in all the NBA talk we got going on.
That's right. And here is what we are going to be talking about, too. In this video, we're going to first touch base on the rule changes that are in the NBA. And then we're going to talk about the power rankings for just the Western Conference teams. We're going to give a few teams that we think will be the most improved / sleeper type teams. Talk about our best future bets for the Western Conference. That's right. Ryan has 2. I got 3. In the next video, the Eastern Conference, we will be giving out our finals predictions and champion winners and all that. But in this video, it is all Western Conference, baby. I'm ready to roll. But before we do, Ryan, what are you most excited to see in the Western Conference this year?
The Trailblazers and what happens with them after getting rid of Damian Lillard and all those things. I still think they can be a decent team, so I'm excited to see what they can do. Obviously, upset and disappointed that Damian Lillard's gone, but definitely want to see them play. And just a couple of the teams we're going to be talking about later, how they're going to step up and play basketball. I don't want to spoil anything yet, so I'll kind of save that for a little bit later. But we got some teams that I'm really looking forward to watch play some basketball.
I agree. And there it is. Ryan is excited about the number 13 or 14 seed in the Western Conference. I'm excited to see what the heck Chris Paul and this Warriors team is going to do because what a weird off-season deal. I mean, it could be great. The Warriors turn the ball over a ton. They're a little sloppy when they play. Chris Paul could help that. Is he going to play a lot with Steph Curry? Is he only going to be coming off the bench second team? We're going to all have to wait and find out. Really curious to see how that works. If it works and gels and it really cuts their sloppy play down, it could be a huge help. If not, it could be weird and just not work out well because that's 2 guards that don't play defense that are little and Steph Curry and Chris Paul. So I'm curious to see how that works out. But other than that, guys, before we get into the power rankings, which I'm excited about, let's talk a little bit of rule changes just so you guys know. There's a new player participation policy. It's supposed to stop players from resting, which drives me absolutely bonkers in the NBA, especially when you're betting it. If any stars, and a star is defined as anyone who has been on the all-star team or all-NBA team in the previous 3 seasons, if they sit out to rest, the team could get fined up to over $1 million. Exceptions are for players 35 years and older, a certain amount of minutes or games played, etc., etc., etc. There's also, by the way, you have to play a minimum of 65 games to win any award. That's right. So if you played 64 games and you dominated, you have no chance of winning the MVP or any other award that you were eligible for, which I think is pretty interesting. But I think most people are probably already playing 65 plus games to win an award. Teams can also not shut down healthy stars late in the season. But honestly, I mean, teams could probably make up injuries or injuries
Mhm.
from the past or anything like that. So, Ryan, any thoughts on this? You think it'll actually help?
You just kind of talked about it. Like, how is somebody going to be able to say, no, that guy's knee is not hurt or his back is fine? He's got to be out there and playing. Like, how do you control that? There's no way of controlling that. So I don't see this, making a huge impact. Do I see more players maybe potentially playing a little bit more just for the money and the awards and those things and teams not wanting to get fined? But if you got a superstar and you're trying to win a championship and he's got a bad back, there's no way of really, telling the NBA that that's not a thing.
Yeah, I mean, you just make up an injury, guys. It's not going to be that hard. So don't worry. Kawhi and Paul George will still be sitting as long as they can. Anyways, next one and the final one, the new in-season tournament. This is freaking stupid. And maybe I'm going to be proven wrong. But I think it's stupid and pointless. I don't know anyone who cares about an in-season tournament. And I'm going to remind you, or just tell you what it reminds me of. And some of you will absolutely hate this. But it reminds me of soccer, football, sorry. And they play all these friendlies and tournaments, and it's all over the place. I don't even know what's going on. Again, I don't follow soccer, so I'm probably just a stupid one in this case. But it just doesn't make sense. I know you're trying to incentivize people to play, but teams are still going to coach. They're still going to play, and they're still going to make decisions that's best for them and the postseason run, late in the season, and all that. These guys don't really care about an in-season tournament. That's just my opinion. I won't go deep into detail. Ryan, any quick thoughts on this in-season tournament?
I mean, football or soccer, we call it, I think they got it figured out worldwide. It is huge. It is big time, and a lot of fans are big time into it. So maybe this is forward thinking by the NBA, and we're just stubborn old guys now. It's kind of crazy saying that just don't see it, but maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm not a fan of soccer in general, but I understand why people like it. It's okay, I get it. But anyways, those are the two big things that are going to be weird this year. But that's all I got. I'm ready to get into it, guys. Like I said, we got power rankings, we got bets, we got sleeper teams. I am ready to roll for the Western Conference, and that starts out with our joint Western Conference power rankings. All right, it starts with the defending champions, the Denver Chicken Nuggets. They are the number one seed because they won the title and they haven't really done much with their team to make it otherwise. But I will say this, only 12 teams have been able to repeat as champions in the modern era. They really only lost Bruce Brown, I believe, so it's the same team. But there's a reason, guys. When you win a title, it is tough, man. You are playing into June. If you heard any Nikola Jokic freaking quotes or anything, that was a hindrance on his life, man. This NBA is like a 9 to 5 for him, and he really just wants to leave. It seems like in every interview, he's absolutely hilarious. But they didn't have much rest, so that's why it's hard. But Nuggets number one, the number two, a little debatable, I think maybe. But the Los Angeles Lakers is what me and Ryan came up with. Guys, it's all about how deep this team is. Holy crap, are they deep? They made moves in the offseason on the trade deadline or in the on the trade deadline last year and in the offseason, but like adding guys like Gabe Vincent, Achimura, Vanderbilt, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Christian Wood. I mean, guys, it goes on and on and on. Ryan, let's bring you in. What do you think about this Laker team?
Man, they're solid. I think they were like one of the better teams at the end of last season. After the trade deadline and everything they did, they like stole people. It seemed like they didn't have anything I thought that they can do to make their team better. They somehow got rid of Russ and just dominated the end of the season. And then they just got extra depth with Christian Wood, like you said, Tayshaun Prince, or I think that's how you say his first name. He
Torian
was
Prince. It's
Torian
usually get
Prince. Thank you.
Tayshaun Pistons. Yes.
Yeah, he played for the Wolves last year. Decent 3 point shooter, can play some defense, and that's exactly what the Lakers need. Gabe Vincent, like you said, they're just so stinking deep that it helps for old people like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who's kind of injury prone. So definitely some good moves by the Lakers. I hate trying to talk about them and saying that LeBron and the Lakers are good and have a chance to go deep, but it's real this year.
Agree, and we're not Laker fans at all, but guys, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, if one of those two big stars go out, I think they can still keep it together. It's not going to be as big of a deal. So we got the Lakers number two. Number three is the Phoenix Suns. Now, this is an interesting team, guys. It's a three-headed monster, maybe the best scoring trio in the league, other than maybe Dame, Giannis, and Middleton. That's debatable also. But Bradley Beal, how's he going to fit in this one with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant? Honestly, I think of this team as a betting nightmare. I mean, we're talking three scores. Watch me go Bradley Beal over 20.5 points. He scores seven, and then KD and Booker go off, or other way, vice versa, whatever it is. It could be tough. But again, three scores and not a lot else. Their depth worries me, their defense worries me, but it's still freaking Booker and KD and Bradley Beal, three guys who can put the ball in the hole. So, that's interesting. Ryan, real quick on the Suns.
Yeah, Aiton leaving I think is definitely going to help the chemistry, the morale. I don't know how he survived the entire year last year on that team. They wanted to get rid of him. He wanted to go like the year before last year, and he was still sticking around. So I didn't understand that. So they got a little bit of depth sending him to the Blazers, but man, yeah, the injuries towards the playoff time is what's really going to figure it, uh, mess it up or whatnot. Like the Durant and Booker playoff time is always an issue.
All season long, it's an issue. Yes. Yeah, let's keep going forward. So we got the four. We got Golden State Warriors. Obviously, guys, they're always up there. This is what I'm most excited to see. Chris Paul. Can he make this team better? Will he finally have a chance to win his first NBA title? We're gonna see. They're not gonna be without. They're gonna be without Draymond a little bit at the beginning of the year. But Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Clay, let's see how those guys do. And then the number 5 team. This is an interesting one, also, guys. There is so many good teams in this conference. The Sacramento Kings. We all know what they did last year. They were the surprise of the NBA. They took the Warriors to Game 7. You know, they won a lot of close games. Me and Ryan, I think, differ on this team, and you're going to hear more about it. I'm not even going to ask Ryan about it because I think he'll talk about him a little bit later. But they kind of remind me of the Vikings. They won a lot of close games. Now that's rude of me. They're better than what the Vikings showed last season, but I think they're just due for a little regression. They played no defense, but man, was their offense fun to watch, and they were unbelievable. So that's going to be an interesting team. 6, Memphis Grizzlies. Big addition of Marcus Smart this year and Ja Morant suspended for the first 25 games. When he comes back, will he continue to be an idiot or will he be a normal human being and play NBA basketball and not ruin his freaking chances in life? That's the big question. But without him, they got Marcus Smart. They played well without him before. Memphis Grizzlies is going to be an interesting team. Not as high of expectations as usual, so maybe that's a better thing for him. Number 7 and number 8, I will talk about later, don't you worry. The New Orleans Pelicans with Zion. And then we got the OKC Thunder, Chet Holmgren coming back. That young team is gonna get better and better. I absolutely hate them. They stole my Sonics, but I am here to talk unbiasedly. So here we go. Number 9, me and Ryan agreed. The Los Angeles Clippers. I just hate this team. I just do. It's Kawhi who
Mhm.
never plays. Paul George's off and on hurt. And they don't have much else. Like Russell Westbrook. Come on. We're not. Why people should start even talking about this team as like a top 3 team in the West. They are not. I gave up on them. At number 10, the Timberwolves. I think Anthony Edwards has a huge year, but I just don't understand why they traded for Rudy Gobert. I don't know how him and Cat are going to fit. Cat was hurt a lot last year. Ryan, thoughts on this T-Wolves team?
Yeah, the Rudy thing, just like last year, it was just it doesn't work with two bigs and one big that can't spread the floor. The NBA nowadays is all about spacing and all those things, and Rudy does not do that. And Cat, he has the skills. It seems like he just doesn't have the engine and the heart and the determination to really do what the Timberwolves need for Anthony Edwards and him to take off and become superstars. Anthony Edwards, I think it's in him. It's just not in Cat. And Rudy's great defensively and grab rebounds, but offensively he just clogs up lanes.
I agree. I mean, if you're gonna have a big guy that clogs up lanes and ruins the driving lanes for like Anthony Edwards and other players, at least have him be like a scorer while he's down there. He's not. He's not
Yep.
like known as a guy you just post up and try to get 20, 25 points a game. He's just I don't know what it is. I don't know why they gave up so much for him. But T Wolves have some young stars. Anthony Edwards has a chance to start getting into the MVP conversation if he keeps improving. But this might be a little controversial. But me and Ryan actually did these rankings on our own, and then we came together for this joint. Me and him both had this team at number 11, the Dallas Mavericks. We're gonna talk about them more, but they have to prove me wrong. Me and Ryan both think they suck. Let's just be honest, and we will talk about that team in a little bit. Utah Jazz started out really hot last season, then struggled, but they got a good young core. I mean, we're talking Lauri Markkanen. We all know Lauri Markkanen, guys. He is the man. We talked about him a lot last year, bet on him a lot. He was an all-star. Walker Kessler, great rebounder, defense. And they added John Collins, the forward from the Atlanta Hawks, and then they obviously got Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson. You know, not a bad young team, good home court advantage, so they could surprise some teams. And then 13, Ryan's team, the Portland Trailblazers. No more Dame. Ryan, thoughts on this team?
I think they're young and still have some pieces. Obviously, I don't think they're getting to the playoffs or doing anything like that. But I don't think they're as terrible as everybody thinks they're going to be as far as like the very, very bottom worst team, not going to win any games type of thing. Aiton has potential. They've got some young pieces that they like. They're definitely moving in the right direction. I wish Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers figured something out a lot sooner. That way Dame could have did what he did, younger. He's kind of old to try and go to the Milwaukee Bucks and do those things there, but I, it just should have happened sooner. It would have been cooler if it would have happened sooner for both sides, I think. So yeah, I'm
I agree.
excited to see what they can do with the young pieces and just kind of moving forward and progress.
Yeah, they did it. I mean, what they did to get rid of Dame and then got DeAndre Ayton, they now drafted Scoot Henderson, Jeremy Grant, Malcolm Brogdon, Anthony Simons, Robert Williams, Matisse Thybulle, all these guys. Like, it's not a bad team. We're not talking just dead last. They're tanking. They're awful. They got some talent on that team. But then we go to the 14th seed for us, the 14th ranked team, the Houston Rockets. They added Fred Van Vliet and Dylan Brooks. Why? I don't understand. Like, they paid Van Vliet a ton of money, a guy who can't get his own shot, who is streaky, he's getting older. He's not known for just being locked down. And then Dylan Brooks, we all know Dylan Brooks. He's a freaking headache. He's a headache. He plays defense and can't hit the broadside of a barn. Couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. I know they're trying to balance his young team, and it will help. I mean, guys, they can't get much worse. It will help all these young players to have veterans finally. I just don't think it's enough to really like all of a sudden make this team a contender. So I don't know. Dylan Brooks is kind of a tool, so that doesn't help. And
Dylan
then the
Brooks
last
already
thing,
got ejected during a preseason game. I mean, he's getting ejected in preseason games. Like, come on, that's ridiculous.
yeah, they don't. That doesn't. What is that going to show your young team? Here's how to be an idiot.
Yeah,
Anyways, the last team, the San Antonio Spurs. Ryan, real quick thoughts on Wemby?
I don't think he's gonna be. People are hyping up to be LeBron James. He's not gonna be that. Will he be a solid, good NBA player? Yes, but he's not gonna be LeBron James and just absolutely amazing, changing record books and just dominating the league for 20 years. It's just not gonna happen. I don't see it. Too small, not small height wise, but he's
Oh,
just,
okay.
yeah, he's got to get some muscle, and I don't think on that frame you can get muscle.
KD doesn't have muscle. Anyways, the Spurs, 15 seed, even with Wemby, and we're going to talk a little bit about Wemby later on in the show. But we still think they're right at the bottom. And honestly, guys, you could throw like the Jazz, Blazers, Rockets, and Spurs, just rattle them up and shake them out and see what happens. Like, who knows who finishes 12 through 15, but that's what we got. So let's take one final look at the power rankings for the Western Conference. There it is. Let me know what you disagree with, because I know you guys are probably have all these thoughts saying you guys are idiots. What do you, and let us know where we're missing or what you guys think. I'm curious. Love to talk some basketball. Now, no more power rankings. It is time to talk the most improved sleeper teams. All right, I got two teams that I think are gonna heavily improve this year. Ryan's got one. I'm gonna start us out. The first one is the Oklahoma City Thunder. It hurts me to say this. Again, I hate this franchise, and you all know why. But you know what? They're fun to watch, and they got a lot going for them. So real quick, last season they finished 40 and 42. They were tied for the fourth fewest turnovers per game at 13, which is unbelievable for a young team like this. They averaged the fifth most points per game at 117 and a half, 13th in defensive rating, 16th in offensive rating. I mean, everything was around average. Finished around 500, average, but with a very young team. First, they get a guy called Chet Holmgren back. You ever heard of him? That's right. They drafted him, and then he got hurt all last year, never played one game. He's going to help them out a lot. I'm going to talk about him a little bit later, but my goodness, he has some skills that are going to just make this Thunder team unbelievable on the defensive side, which could turn into more offensive points. But again, I will get into that. Josh Giddey, I believe, led the team in rebounding last year, so they need a guy like Chet Holmgren who can actually get the boards, because Josh Giddey is not a guy who should be leading your team in rebounds. But I do like Giddey. Good solid player, plays hard. I like the young core. You got SGA, obviously. You got Giddey. You got Jalen Williams. And now Chet Holmgren. Guys, they're a team that's on the rise. There's no doubt about that. They play great team ball when you watch them play. It's not just one-on-one isolation all the time. I think this team, with good health, has a chance to win 50 or more games this year. If things break right, like I said, they won 40 last year. Everybody's going to should improve this year. Chet Holmgren's in the mix now, so I have the Oklahoma City Thunder as my first sleeper team. Ryan, what do you got?
I think that was very solid with the Thunder. I agree with that. My first kind of sleeper improvement team would be the Sacramento Kings. I mean, last year, 48 wins, all that. You already said it, kind of won close games and all those things. But they tasted playoff basketball and what they are like just dreaming for. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. Sabonis was a Jabbo Hall of Famer for us. He did a bunch of great things for us. But man, the fire that they had in that first playoff series is just going to propel them, I believe, this season. Kind of like you were saying about the Thunder, 50 plus. I can see them hitting 50 games also. Keegan Murray's second year. Last year, I mean, he played like 28 minutes, 20 minutes, somewhere around there, and was a solid player. Just another year under his belt, or for the second year now. They got guys that hit three balls. Monk is just another solid player. He can score, do a lot of things. They scored the most freaking points in the NBA last year with 120. I mean, this league's all about offense, and they are the best. Yes, they need to improve defensively and getting rebounds, but I mean, they get some pieces. But when your offense is doing that, you don't want to mess it up a whole bunch. You just kind of want to keep rolling with that. So I'm thinking the Sacramento Kings, not necessarily in the regular season, advance a whole bunch or make a big improvement. But I think playoff wise, I think they're making a deep, deep run in the playoffs, and that's where the impact and the sleeping is going to be. And I feel like the media and everybody's kind of forgetting about the Kings. Like they were the third seed last year, and did what they did with the Warriors and everything, and no one's even talking about them. So I definitely think they have a chance to ruin some teams' hopes for sure.
Okay, interesting. You nailed it on the head. I mean, they're an unbelievable offensive team. And what if Keegan Murray does take the next step forward that he was he was a what top five draft pick? What if he now becomes a stud and now they got him, Sabonis, all these shooters with De'Aaron Fox? I mean, it's an offense that is really hard to stop. You saw it. The home court advantage was pretty fun to see in the playoffs against the Warriors, lighting the beam and everything. Those guys went crazy. I don't know. We'll see. With no defense, it's going to be interesting. But man, their offense is something else. So I don't completely disagree. But anyways, this next one I talked about him at nauseum last year, just over and over and over again, and I'm going to do it a freaking again, and you can't do anything about it. So here we go. The New Orleans Pelicans. Freaking A Pelicans, stay healthy. Last season, 36 and 46, 20th in offensive rating, 6th in defensive rating. It is all about the injuries. No other team got hurt more. Maybe there's might have been one other team that got hurt more, but this freaking team lost so many players and so many to their stud players, guys. In December, this team was in first place in the Western Conference. That's right, first place. People forget that. I do not. Now, Brandon Ingram, he only played 45 games last year. Jose Alvarado, 61 games last year. Zion freaking Williamson, 29 games. He played 61 and 24 games the previous two seasons. In his career, he has played 114 games out of a possible 317 freaking games. And what does he get? A 5-year extension for 194 million. Imagine showing up to your work a third of the time and getting 200 million. I don't understand it, but it's for his talent. I get it. He said he worked hard in the offseason. I hear it every year. Freaking stop getting hurt and please stay on the court, because when Zion is on the court, you got Brandon Ingram on the court, CJ McCollum, Valanciunas, Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy, who is actually hurt and will miss the first month of the season, Trey Murphy. All these guys and the young players around him. Guys, this is a very, very good team that could be up there with the top seeds in this conference if they stay healthy. It's a huge if. I understand that. But I mean, guys, if that's all we're counting on is health, the talent's there. We've seen it already. Like I said, first place in December. I like this team. Great rebounding team. They're absolutely just relentless on the glass, relentless in the paint. They had the most points in the paint, I think, for like the first month or so of the season. I just like them. Give me the Pelicans. I'm going to stay on them. This is their last chance. If they all go tumbling down again, I don't know what to do. But you know what? The beginning of the season is for hope, and I'm going to hope that they actually stay healthy. Ryan, thoughts on my Pelicans?
There's no way. It's consistent that Zion is gonna get hurt. I mean, it just
Yes.
is. I don't know how come you expect anything different. You're like bashing your head against the wall and expecting different results. The results are
Yep.
gonna be the same. Your head's gonna hurt because Zion is gonna get hurt. It is just what it's gonna be, and him getting hurt destroys that team. Yes, if he can stay healthy, this team is very, very good and can do exactly what you're talking about. But we all know he's not going to. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the talks that you're talking about. He's done his stuff this offseason. He's in the weight room. He's in shape, all those things. I don't think it's just that, though. I think it's his body as well. That it's just going to take a pounding and it's going to get beat up and he's going to get hurt. And the Pelicans are going to bite you in the butt again.
What, do you think I'm going to sit here and argue with what you just said? I can't argue that. I agree. If Zion could shoot without help, because he wouldn't have to go to the freaking hoop and get crushed every time on his body. But he can shoot a little bit. I'm not saying he can't shoot, but I want to disagree with you, Ryan. I'm just going to cross my fingers all season long and hope to God this team stays healthy. And it's not just him. We need Brandon Ingram to play more than 45 games as well. If Zion plays like 70 games and Ingram plays like 70 games, that would be humongous. Absolutely huge. I think 60 out of each. What do you think about that, Ryan? 60 games out of Zion, 60 out of Ingram right now. They're probably up there, right? They're pretty good.
Yes, if you're telling me right now that they both play 60, yes, they're a very good team. Potentially second, maybe first, like you're saying. Like they are that good when healthy.
Okay, well, I'm speaking into existence. They're playing 60 plus games each. Thank you. Freaking game two goes down with an ankle, never returns. Gets a sprained ankle, and somehow he never makes it back. Anyways, that's what we got. Those are the sleepers, surprise teams for this season. And now it's time to get into our Western Conference best future bets. All right, here we go. It's time for those best bets. This is a lot of fun to talk about. These are only for Western Conference teams and players. I have three. Ryan has two. I'm going to start us off. Here we go. You already saw in our power rankings the Dallas Mavericks to miss the playoffs at plus 162 on FanDuel. This Western Conference is way too loaded for this team to make the playoffs. They have no big man at all. We're talking Dwight Powell, Rashawn Holmes, Lively, the young guy. Like, guys, this isn't a full team at all. This is a two-headed monster. They added Grant Williams. Okay, I understand that's a good pickup. I'm not saying anything bad about against that, but if Grant Williams is your only other really role player that can play with Kyrie, and by the way, can Kyrie even stay like normal for an entire season? When they start losing, can him and Luka get along? I have no idea. Luka is used to being the man, the MVP candidate. I just think this is a problem because not only do they have depth issues, this team could absolutely be hot garbage on defense, and I mean garbage. Their two best players don't play D, Luka and Kyrie. Grant Williams, okay. Dwight Powell, Rashawn Holmes. I mean, are these guys that scare you on the if you're on the other side of the ball? I just think they're one bad stretch away from things falling apart for Kyrie and this team. I just don't think they're very good. I've seen some people that think they're going to really improve over the offseason. It's Kyrie. They get more time to play together. Yes, Luka is an absolute superstar, one of the best players on planet Earth. Yes, Kyrie has offensive talent. That's not necessarily enough. So I don't know, guys. I just don't think the Mavericks can make the playoffs. I love the odds at plus 162. Western Conference is just too loaded. So Ryan, what do you got for your first best bet?
Yeah, my first bet, I'm going to go with the Sacramento Kings, like I've already mentioned and talked about them, over 47 and a half wins at plus 170. I mean, like I was saying, they 48 games last year, and I'm getting plus 170, and I think they're going to do better. I think some of the teams, yes, the West is loaded, but there's question marks, I believe, all throughout, even in the upper teams as far as health, injuries. Are they going to play hard? I know there's the new rule that you have to play, but I mean, with older teams and older guys, you can still sit and rest. So I just think this team, like I was saying, they tasted playoffs, they tasted the success, the home court advantage. They're just going to take off and just roll with it, and to win another 48 games or more at plus 170. That's what I'm going to go roll with there. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Herbert or Herder, he can hit threes. Monk, they just got weapons. How do you stop them? You can't stop this team. So I think they're just going to get a lot of wins, and that's going to be my best bet for this one. Steven, let's hear your second one.
Ryan, do you want to? Can someone in the chat buy Ryan a Kings jersey already? Goodness
I
gracious!
would,
I
I
guess
would
why
love
there
it.
might be a Zion jersey.
I would
But
definitely wear it for sure.
yeah, holy cow. I mean, De'Aaron Fox. We're talking about the fastest guy with the ball probably in the NBA. They got so much talent. We already talked about him. And by the way, this is an alt line. I don't know if Ryan said it. It's an alt line. I think the
Hmm.
original. What's the original one, Ryan?
I think the
40.
original was 43 at minus 110 or 44 and a half. 43
Okay.
and a half or 44 and a half at minus 110, something like that.
So Ryan took it up to get better odds because he thinks they have a chance to win close to 50 games or more. So that's his bet. Now, my second best bet. Sticking with the Thunder, guys. Chet Holmgren to win Rookie of the Year. That's right. It's not Wembayama, blah, 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 blah. Plus 320 on FanDuel for this one. Yes, he did not play all year last year, which means he is considered a rookie. What does that mean? He has a leg up on the other rookies. He was with the team all year. They said they wanted to make sure he was mentally sharp, knew what was going on. He was around the team. He knows the NBA. He knows the system. He has an advantage over other rookies. This guy impacts the game. If you saw him play at Gonzaga, he impacts the game on both sides. He will be a shot alterator. Shot. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Something
That's
like
good.
that. Anyways, he's gonna just make life miserable on opponents when they attack the rim. He is gonna get a ton of blocks. You already saw it in summer league and all these other games, and that leads to transition. That's what the Thunder love to do. That's what SGA loves to do. He is gonna be huge for this team on both sides of the ball. He is freaking 8 feet tall and he can shoot. I mean, this guy has so much talent. Now, the guys he's going against, let's talk about them real quick. Wemby. He's on a Spurs team that literally is known for load management. I think they were the pioneers of load management and resting players. Do you think they're going to put this guy who's like 12 years old, thin as a rail, and just play him 35 minutes a game? What if he gets a little injury? He'll probably stay out a little bit longer than he should because he's on the Spurs and they want to make sure their future is taken care of. Especially you get to the second half of the year and they're the 14th seed and terrible and he sprains an ankle. Maybe some guys will be back in 2 weeks. He might be back in 4 weeks. And remember, you have to play 65 plus games to win Rookie of the Year. So that's Wemby. Now, Scoot Henderson, he's a good player, guys. This guy is ready to roll. He is not scared of the spotlight. It doesn't sound like. I think he's going to be a great player, but he is a true rookie. He doesn't have that advantage like Chet does, being around the team for a year. And he's competing with Anthony Simons still for playing time. This team still has Aiton. They still have Jeremy Grant. Still have Shaden Sharp. They have all these guys. And Anthony Simons, he can control the ball quite a bit, and he looks to shoot a lot. So he's still going to have competition. These are now listen. Wemby and Scoot Henderson are great players. I'm just explaining my thought process as to why I think Chet has good value compared to these two guys, because I think it's really a three-man race here with these three guys. So I know there's other ones that people like, but to me these are the best three. So give me the most NBA ready guy who I think is going to impact a rising team who has a chance to have a really good record this year. So give me Chet Holmgren to win Rookie of the Year. Ryan, what do you got for your second bet?
My second bet, we're going with an exact finish for the Northwest Division, and we're going to take the Denver Nuggets #1 and the Thunder #2. We don't need to worry about the other three that wasn't in the bet, so it's at plus 175 for the Denver Nuggets to get first and the Thunder to get second in the Northwest Division. The other teams in this division, we got the Utah Jazz, the Timberwolves, and the Trailblazers. The Jazz and the Trailblazers, they're out already. Like, I don't see them being close to first or second at all. The T Wolves scared me a little bit with the second one, but as we've already talked about with the Thunder and everything that we're expecting from them, I can see them easily getting second. And then the Nuggets. I mean, come on. They lost Bruce Brown. That's a big minus, but they still are the defending champs. They know what they're doing. Getting first place over the Thunder, I don't think is going to be very hard for the Denver Nuggets. So I just, if I had to pick the whole division, that would have been way more challenging, and obviously the votes would have been a lot higher. But for picking the first one and the second one for plus 175, I like going there. So, what do you think?
I like it. I think it's a sneaky find. You know what the funny thing is when I hear you say it, I'm like Northwest Division. I don't even remember who's in these divisions because it's only ranked like 1 through 15 in the whole conference. Like I bet you there's a lot of NBA fans that are like, "Hey, give me 3 people or 5 teams in the Southwest Division." They'd be like, I don't know." Like they don't even, like who cares about divisions anymore? But betting wise, this still could be a winner. I think the Nuggets to win the division is pretty much a lock. I mean, right? So really, we're just
Mhm.
talking Thunder to be the 2 seed in that division,
Yep.
not 2 seed. Um, so I mean, you're really just having a big plus money bet saying the Thunder will finish better than the T Wolves, in my opinion. So I think it's a good sneaky bet. Not bad for you, right? Anyways, bet number three and my final one of the day. We got the New Orleans Pelicans. Are we sick of this yet? Over 44.5 wins at minus 110. Just hear me out for a second. I'm not going to repeat everything, okay? They won 42 games last year. Did I mention Zion barely played? Did I mention Ingram missed a ton of games, as did a bunch of other players? And now all they have to do is win 3 more games. I mean, again, I already told you Zion's playing 60 plus games. I already told you that, so that's a given. I just think this line is too low. I'm just not understanding. I don't like future bets that are minus 110 or minus anything, to be honest with you, but I mean, this is just too good to pass up. Even if Zion, like I said, plays 50 games, I mean, we're talking 3 more wins than last year. Like on a team that had literally nobody. Wasn't it Ryan like CJ McCollum and nobody for like a month or two at one
Yeah, and I
point? It was
and I believe CJ was even hurt and playing through injuries and was kind of upset at his teammates. So you're definitely on the right track here. He's going to light a fire up under their butts.
That's true. And then you got Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy, shooters, defender. You got it all. You got Valanciunas, McCollum, Zion, Ingram. They got a big four. I think you include that as a big four, right? I don't know. McCollum pisses me off. He's kind of just a scorer. But either way, guys, we're talking 3 more wins for a team that had the worst health luck in the entire NBA. Give me the Pelicans over 44.5 wins. I have a lean, 2 leans real quick. I don't know if Ryan does it. If he does, I'll let him know. Or I'll kick it to him. But my leans, maybe a half unit on the Warriors and a half unit on the Lakers to win the Western Conference this year. They're both plus 650 each. I mean, guys, obviously you're only going to get one of these, and you're going to profit no matter what because plus 650 is huge. Warriors, what if Chris Paul fits? You still got Steph Curry. You got guys who know how to win, and the Lakers are as deep as it gets. And if LeBron and AD are healthy heading into the playoffs, I mean, that's a team that could easily win the Western Conference. So, Ryan, you have any other leans or anything for the Western Conference?
Yeah, the Kings to win the whole thing and go to the NBA Finals at plus 2,500, and DeAndre Ayton for the most improved player at plus 3,500. I mean, those are huge odds, so definitely way long shots. But I mean, the Kings to win it all in the West, I think that is definitely a chance. So those odds, I'm like, yeah, I might lean something like that to take a sprinkle like you talk about. And then Aiton. Yeah, I think he's going to play some inspired basketball for the Blazers. If they were on a team that can get to the playoffs or whatnot, that then I can really make it a real bet. But I don't see his stats going up enough. I just feel like if he was on a team that can, like I was saying, get to the playoffs and make a run and show that he's the leader and um, improve his stats, then yes. But that's why I'm just like, it's a lean for huge odds. But he has the potential. Used to be a number one overall pick, like, what, 4 or 5 years ago, in a new situation, and doesn't have competition as far as like other guys, Robert Williams, but they kind of play a little bit differently. So I think there's a shot there.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, can he improve enough? I don't know. What do you call himself? Dominating? I mean, this guy's motivated. He wants to prove their sons that they're wrong. He had some scuffles and some issues
Mm-hmm.
with the Suns, and now he gets a fresh start. He seems motivated. He seems excited, ready to go. So it's not a terrible little sprinkle there. So, but yeah, that's what we got. Those are our best bets, power rankings, sleeper teams, etc., etc. Let's check out the bets recap page. All right, there we go, guys. The Western Conference futures for this upcoming season. The Mavericks to miss the playoffs for me at plus 162. Chet Holmgren to win Rookie of the Year at plus 320. And then the New Orleans Pelicans over 44.5 wins at minus 110. They just need 3 more wins. Sacramento Kings for Ryan, alt line over 47.5 wins at plus 170. And then exact finish in the Northwest Division, because everybody knows the divisions. The Nuggets to finish first, the Thunder to finish second at plus 175. That's what we got, guys. Man, that was a lot of fun. That is just one conference. We're going to have another video come out for the Eastern Conference. At the end of that video, we will give our finals predictions, our champion, all that kind of stuff. There's nothing better than a good NBA debate. We're going to have some videos too where we're going to have some fun NBA debates with you guys. It's going to be a great, fun season. We're going to be back for bets. We're going to be back for research help and all that. So make sure to hit that like button, guys. Thank you guys for the support. Let me know in the comments how excited you are for NBA season, what you guys think about how the Western Conference is going to shape up. Ryan, any final words?
Just super stoked to get back to basketball and the daily videos and everything and the back and forth conversations and just all the help that we help with and contests. And it's just super exciting time for our channel and the NBA.
That's right, baby. Gotta love it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We will be back again. Until then, we'll talk to you soon.